I don't know, there's this like weird thing that, or complex that maybe some people have once you get married, you're completely someone else's.
Favorite country song on the radio. Singing along to every word about love and heartbreak. But what if I told you that some of the most beautiful love songs in country music were written by women who loved other women? What if the voices that moved you to tears were singing from experiences that the country music world tried to keep hidden for decades? Today, we're going to meet 20 incredible women who changed country music forever. These are the female country stars who had the courage to be themselves in a world that wasn't always ready to accept them. Their stories will make you laugh, cry, and feel inspired. So grab a tissue and get comfortable, because we're about to dive into some of the most powerful stories in music history. Let's start our journey back in the 1960s with a woman who was way ahead of her time. Wilma Burgess was born on a hot summer day in June 1939 in Orlando, Florida. When she was just 21 years old, she packed her bags and moved to Nashville with nothing but a dream and an incredible voice. A music producer named Owen Bradley heard her sing and knew she had something special. He signed her to a record deal right away. By 1965, Wilma had a hit song called Baby that climbed all the way to the top 10 on the country charts. People couldn't get enough of her voice. She followed that success with songs like Don't Touch Me and Misty Blue. But here's what makes Wilma's story so amazing. She was living as an openly lesbian woman in Nashville, even though the public didn't know it. She was smart about it, too. She would ask her producer to change song lyrics, so they didn't use words like he or him. That way, she could sing about love without having to lie about who she really loved. In the 1980s, after she stepped back from recording music, Wilma did something that was completely unheard of at the time. She opened Nashville's first bar that was just for women. It was called Track 9, and it became a safe place where lesbian women could be themselves without fear. Wilma passed away in 2003, but she will always be remembered as the woman who quietly opened doors for everyone who came after her. Now let me tell you about a woman with one of the most powerful voices you'll ever hear. K.D. Lang was born in Canada and started singing country music in the 1980s. From the very first time people heard her sing, they knew she was different. She didn't dress like other female country singers, and she didn't try to fit into anyone's idea of what a woman should be. At first, the country music world loved her for it. She won awards, performed on the biggest stages, and everyone called her a fresh new voice. But then KD did something brave and dangerous. She told the world that she was a lesbian. And just like that, everything changed. Country radio stations stopped playing her music. Fans who once cheered for her turned their backs. The same industry that had celebrated her talent suddenly wanted nothing to do with her. But K.D. Lang refused to go back into hiding. She left country music and found success in pop music, where people were more accepting. She never apologized for being herself, and over time, people began to respect her courage. She became a hero to anyone who ever felt like they didn't belong. Let's talk about Brandi Carlile, a woman who has always worn her heart on her sleeve. Brandi came out as a lesbian in the early 2000s, long before it was safe or easy for women in country music to do so. She was still building her career and had no idea if the world would accept her. But Brandi believed that being honest was more important than being famous. In 2012, she married a woman named Katherine Shepard in a beautiful ceremony. Together, they have 2 daughters who are the light of their lives. Brandi talks about her family often, not because she wants attention, but because she wants other people to know that families like hers are normal and beautiful. Her music has won Grammy Awards and touched millions of hearts. She even helped create a group called the Highwomen, which was made to give more women a voice in country music. Hayley Wright's story will break your heart, and then put it back together again. For years, Hayley was a successful country singer who kept a terrible secret. She was gay, but she was so afraid of losing everything that she pretended to be straight. She grew up in a small town in Kansas where being different was not accepted. In country music, it was even worse. The pressure of living 2 different lives almost destroyed her. She fell into a deep depression and thought about ending her life. Finally, In 2010, she couldn't take it anymore. She wrote a book called Like Me, where she told the truth about everything. She talked about the depression, the fear, and how close she came to giving up. Coming out wasn't a career move for Hayley. It was literally a matter of life and death. When she came out, some people supported her, but many others turned away. Radio stations stopped playing her songs. Her album sales dropped. But Hayley says it was still the best decision she ever made because she finally got to live as herself. She began speaking at schools and churches, using her story to help other people who felt alone. Amythyst Kiah is a woman who brings something completely unique to country music. She's a black queer woman from Tennessee who mixes old-time music, blues, country, and folk into something magical. Her life hasn't been easy. When she was young, her mother died by suicide, and that pain followed her for years. She struggled with depression and felt like she didn't fit in anywhere, especially as a queer woman in the South. But then something amazing happened. She started putting all of her pain and truth into her music. Her album, Wary Plus Strange, told her story in the most honest way possible. One song called Black Myself became an anthem for people who felt like outsiders. The album was so good that it earned her Grammy nominations. Amythyst didn't try to fit into anyone's idea of what a country singer should look like. She just told her truth and let the music speak for itself. Brooke Eden spent years hiding who she really was. She was in love with a woman named Hillary Hoover, who worked in radio, but she kept their relationship secret because she was afraid it would end her career. For years, they loved each other in private, unable to share their joy with the world. But in 2021, Brooke decided she was tired of hiding. She came out by releasing a song called Got No Choice and put Hillary in the music video. It wasn't just a love song. It was their love song, and they were finally ready to share it with everyone. Soon after, they got engaged and married in 2022. Brooke says that coming out wasn't just about her personal life. It was about showing other people in country music that love is love, no matter what. Hayley Kiyoko might be known mostly for pop music, but her influence reaches into country music too. She's been called Lesbian Jesus by her fans, not as a joke, but because her honesty has helped so many young people feel seen and accepted. From the very beginning of her career, she made it clear that she would never hide who she was. Her music videos show real relationships between women, something that was almost never seen in mainstream music when she started. Even though she's not a traditional country artist, Hayley has experimented with acoustic sounds and southern storytelling in some of her songs. She's an example of what happens when an artist refuses to compromise who they are for anyone. Lily Rose is one of the newest voices on this list, and she's making waves already. She broke through with a song called Villain in 2020, and it quickly became popular on social media before climbing the country charts. What makes Lily special is that she's been open about being lesbian from the very beginning of her career. She's never tried to hide or make excuses. In interviews, Lily talks about how important it is for her to be completely honest about who she is. She writes songs about real relationships and real love, even when that love is with women. She represents a new generation of country artists who refuse to hide who they are. Maren Morris surprised everyone in June 2024 when she came out as bisexual. She didn't make a big announcement or hold a press conference. Instead, she simply posted a photo of herself with a pride flag and wrote, "Happy to be an LGBTQ+." It was simple and perfect. Maren later said that working with the band Muna, who are openly queer, gave her the courage to finally speak her truth. She had known she was bisexual for years, but Pride Month in 2024 gave her the final push she needed. She talked about how dating women feels different to her. The conversations go deeper faster, and the connection feels more natural in some ways. Brandy Clark is one of the most respected songwriters in Nashville today, and she's also openly gay. She didn't realize she was gay until her early 20s, but once she figured it out, she accepted it quietly and completely. What makes Brandy's story special is that she co-wrote one of the most important songs for LGBTQ representation in country music. Follow Your Arrow by Casey Musgraves. That song included the line, "Kiss lots of boys or kiss lots of girls, if that's something you're into," which might seem simple now, but it was revolutionary at the time. Brandi later said she had no idea how much that one line would mean to people who had never heard themselves represented in country music before. Katie Pruitt grew up in Atlanta in a Catholic family, and she knew from an early age that she was different. As she got older, she struggled with her faith, her identity, and what it meant to be a lesbian in the South, where many people told her she was wrong. Music became her way of working through all of those complicated feelings. Her debut album, Expectations, is full of songs that speak directly about being gay in the South. Songs like Loving Her and Georgia don't sugarcoat anything. They tell the truth about the confusion, the heartbreak, and the hope that comes with living as your authentic self in a place that doesn't always accept you. DeVitry is a transgender lesbian country artist who has been incredibly brave about sharing her journey. She was assigned male at birth, but transitioned to living as a woman around 2014. Since then, she's used her music to talk honestly about what it's like to be transgender and lesbian in America. Her songs discuss the challenges of being trans, falling in love with women, dealing with discrimination, and fighting back through music. She even recorded a protest song with another artist called Burn This State House Down that challenges laws that hurt transgender people. Maya isn't trying to fit into anyone's idea of what country music should be. She's just being herself and telling her truth. Emily Saliers and Amy Ray make up the duo called the Indigo Girls, and their music has been touching hearts since 1985. While their music is often called folk, it has always had country influences in both sound and storytelling. Both women are openly lesbian and have never hidden who they are, even when it might have made their careers more difficult. Emily married her longtime girlfriend Tristan Chipman in 2013 in a simple ceremony in New York City. Amy has been in a relationship with filmmaker Carrie Schrader since 2001, and they've raised a daughter together in the North Georgia mountains. Together, Emily and Amy created safe spaces for queer fans and artists long before the industry was ready to embrace them. Harper Grae, who was born Shauna Henderson in Alabama, changed her name to something that represents her faith. Grae stands for God Redeems All Equally, which tells you everything you need to know about her heart. She was raised by her grandparents in a small town called Real Town, and she first became known when she appeared on a reality show called The Glee Project. After that, she moved to Nashville and started making country music. Harper has always been open about being lesbian, never hiding but never making a big show of it either. She just lived her truth quietly and honestly. Her songs talk about growing up religious and coming out in the South. In 2021, she became the first openly lesbian artist named in CMT's Next Women of Country program. Mary Gauthier has lived more life than most people could imagine. Born in New Orleans in 1962, she had a rough childhood as an adopted child. By her teenage years, she had run away from home and was struggling with addiction, but she turned her life around through rehab and music. Mary came out as lesbian later in life, and she says it took time for her to feel completely comfortable with who she was. Once she did, her music became even more raw and honest. Her album Rifles and Rosary Beads was made with American War veterans and told their stories with incredible care and honesty. The album was nominated for a Grammy and showed how music can help people heal. Michelle Sharp grew up in California as the daughter of songwriter Randy Sharp. She came out as lesbian in her early 20s and has always been open about it. This openness helped set her apart in an industry where many people stayed silent about their identity, especially in country and folk music. She's written songs for huge artists like Bonnie Raitt, Trisha Yearwood, and the Dixie Chicks. Her own music is personal and honest, dealing with real things like heartbreak, quiet moments, and relationships that don't work out. She's not flashy or loud about her career, but she's built a solid path through hard work and incredible songwriting. H.C. McEntire is a lesbian country artist from North Carolina who used to be the lead singer of a band called Mount Moriah. She grew up in a religious southern town where being lesbian was not accepted, and her songs talk honestly about that experience. Her music sounds like old country mixed with gospel and folk, and is raw and emotional in the best way. Her songs talk about what it felt like to love women in secret, the pain of hiding, and the strength it took to finally be honest. She sings about church, small towns, and falling in love with women. She still lives in the South and talked about being both queer and Christian, even though those things don't always go together in people's minds. Joy Oladokun is a queer black singer-songwriter who blends country, folk, and soul in her music. She grew up in Arizona in a deeply religious Nigerian family, and coming out as queer was not easy for her. Her songs talk about faith, identity, pain, and healing in ways that make your heart ache and hope at the same time. Her music is soft but incredibly powerful. She writes about what it means to grow up feeling different and searching for belonging when the world around you doesn't understand who you are. Songs like Sunday and I See America show what it's like to be a queer black woman in both country music and church spaces, which aren't always welcoming to people like her. Finally, let's talk about Shelby Lynne, a woman whose voice can make you cry without you even knowing why. She started her career in the late 1980s and slowly gained attention for her deep voice and emotional songs. In 2001, she won a Grammy Award for Best New Artist, even though she had already been making music for over a decade. Shelby has always written about pain, love, loneliness, and strength, but these themes became even more powerful when she later came out as lesbian. She didn't make a big public announcement or use it for attention. She simply shared her truth in interviews and let it become part of her story. This honesty added new meaning to many of her older songs, and fans often say her music helped them feel understood and less alone. These 20 women have changed country music forever, not by trying to fit in, but by refusing to hide who they really are. From legends who paved the way decades ago to rising stars who are reshaping the genre today, each woman has brought her authentic self to a world that hasn't always made room for her. Their stories show us that courage comes in many forms. Sometimes it's coming out early in your career, when you have everything to lose. Sometimes it's coming out later in life, when you finally can't hide anymore. Sometimes it's just living your truth quietly and honestly, letting your music speak for itself. What makes these women so special isn't just their talent, though they all have incredible voices and write amazing songs. What makes them special is their refusal to let anyone else decide who they should be or who they should love. They've shown that being queer and loving country music aren't opposites. They've proven that Southern voices can be strong, gentle, and gay all at once. Their courage has created space for more honesty in country music. They've made it possible for young LGBTQ people to see themselves in a genre that means so much to so many people. They've written songs that help others feel less alone and shown that love songs are just as beautiful whether they're about loving a man or loving a woman. These women aren't just part of country music's history. They're actively shaping its future by showing the world what real authenticity looks like. They're proof that the best art comes from truth, even when that truth is complicated or difficult. So the next time you hear a country song about love and heartbreak, remember that some of the most beautiful music in this genre has come from women who had the courage to love openly and sing honestly. Their voices have made country music richer, deeper, and more real. What do you think about these incredible women and their brave journeys? Have any of their songs touched your heart? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if this video moved you or taught you something new, please give a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need to hear these stories. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content about the artists who shaped the music we love. Thanks for watching, and remember, the most beautiful music always comes from the most honest hearts.